Welcome to Aunty K's, your favorite radical queer indigenous auntie, bringing you tarot every day. Hello everyone, and welcome to Aunty K's Tarot. I haven't made a lot of videos lately because I have been focusing on wrapping up the end of my tarot deck, which is the Marseille Prendre Vie. And I'm really excited about this deck. It is my best attempt at a positive representation of the world majority. My first deck, the Landback Tarot, was an RWS deck where I created the community I most lived and walked in. And with the Marseille Prendre Vie, I am bringing the Marseille to life in the world that I live in and the world that we all live in. And with 78 cards and pips, there is a limited number of people to do that with. And so it's taken a lot of thought and care, and I'm really proud of it. And I'm really close to wrapping it up. And I am hoping to have it to Kickstarter for Virgo season. So end of August and to the middle of September, that's what I am aiming for. Closer to the August side would be even better because then I could have the decks shipped by December for sure. And I'm finishing the art before I put it onto Kickstarter. And then I'll be focusing on finishing the book, and I have decisions to make about that. Finishing the art to getting on Kickstarter will take a moment as well, because I would like to get review decks, and that will add a little bit of extra time until it gets to the Kickstarter. So there's some big decisions, and they're all happening, and it means I'm creating less YouTube videos, and it means I'm definitely watching less YouTube. And I watch a lot of YouTube beyond TarotTube. I consume a lot of Left Tube, a lot of Cornbread Tube. I also enjoy podcasts. There's not a lot of indigenous political YouTube. I mean, there's Red Nation podcast, and there is Indian Collective. And I also, watch APTN News, which is just like news. But, it's an indigenous network up in here in so-called Canada. So I also listen to podcasts because there's a lot more indigenous podcasts, but I've been doing a lot less of all that because I've been doing so much art. So one thing I want to do to, pump my deck up there and get it out there and seen is show a couple cards at the time and what's in the guidebook. And we'll see how far that gets me before I need to start writing more of the guidebook. But we're going to get into this and start going through this as I get ready to get this to Kickstarter. Also, I'm trying to decide on these two designs for card backs. Option 1, option 2. Drop your preference in the comments section. Thanks. As you walk down the street, you are drawn to a root worker's conjure shop. Diagonally across the intersection from you, you jaywalk towards the shop, fascinated, of course, by the items on their table and in the fancy pouch, but drawn in by whom they might be, what they know, what they will impart to you. The conjurer is smartly dressed, from their fine shoes in an open stance to the feather in their cap. The conjurer's gaze seems to shift from their crystal sphere to you as your gaze shifts from the sphere to the conjurer. As you glance away, you notice their wand and are drawn to its tip, which seems to show you a secret garden behind the shop. If you buy a reading and ask them to cast for you, will they see you should be invited on through? The conjurer has learned for many years the secrets and rites of many mysteries, the knowledges of the roots of life, and by extension, nature. This wisdom has also taught the conjurer the knowledges of survival. He stands between you and what you desire to know. You reach into your pocket for the fee. 2. The Popess. To your delight, you were invited to return tonight with the Popess. You didn't know there ever was a Popess. A bit of research before this evening reveals there once was a Pope Johanna who was thought to be a man until they gave birth in public and were stoned to death. You wonder if Popess is just a French translation. As you arrive, the Popess is seated in front of a veil. Lights sparkle in the garden beyond. You find a seat near the stool the Popess is seated on. Her book is in Korean. You wonder what language tonight's insights will be revealed in. Perhaps your biases assumed it was in your language of choice. The Popess wears a very structured and conservative outfit. A strange egg sits beside her, and you think back to the Popess Johanna. The Popess gazes off as you wait for them to begin, but you don't see what they appear to see. Your anticipation of the revealing of knowledges tingles throughout your body. So that's a little bit of the guidebook and the cards so far. I'm going to keep sharing a little bit at a time as I go up towards when this launches on Kickstarter. And I've been having fun with the symbols in the Marseille and the tips and the hints. And I've decided to include a lot of them, unless recreating them required me to dive into appropriated ideas like Kabbalah. And there's been a lot, as there is in esoteric communities, arguing about the secret knowledge and idea that you intuited that was always there, that everybody knew and was forgotten until you or whatever. And then we get into worrying about what's real symbolism and what's fake symbolism. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. Can I use it? Can I use it to tell a story? I'll use it to tell a story. And so is how I have tackled this. With the Marseille coming to life, I've combined real background photos with realistic artwork drawn on top of it using Affinity Designer and a Huon tablet. And so also in recreating some of these symbols, they look different because I've drawn it to look modern. And I hope this is a fun way to incorporate serious and not so serious takes on symbols.